Sexting, An Educator's Role by Emily Loomis. According to UrbanDictionary.com, the most popular definition of sexting is the act of text messaging someone in hopes of having a sexual encounter with them later, initially casually, transitioning into highly suggestive and even sexually explicit. The second most popular definition of the term is when a guy and a girl send dirty text messages back and forth to each other. Pictures may also be included, but only if you're lucky. But jokes aside, bad things happen regarding sexting, especially with its popularity among minors, more specifically, teenagers. As of 2009, about 20% of teens admitted to sexting, according to the National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy. We have all heard the stories. A girl sends her boyfriend a sexy picture, they break up. In revenge, he sends the sext to everyone he knows. They all send it to everyone they know. Girl is taunted, called names, and ridiculed. Unfortunately, some of these already horrible stories end tragically. Students end up changing schools, moving, dropping out of school. They become depressed, and in worst case scenario, the student commits suicide. Educators play an important role in this growing form of bullying. But there are many tricky conditions that one must keep in mind when trying to intervene in a sexting situation. The 2011 California legislation related to sexting says, if sexually explicit matter was in the possession of a minor, the minor must pay a fine that does not exceed $1,000 and undergo counseling, with the cost of the counseling to be borne by the minor's parents. The legislature legislation is going to address the activity commonly referred to as sexting. It also says that that schools and safety programs are going to be put in place to reduce sexting. Here are some guidelines for educators to keep in mind. Schools should develop a well-defined protocol with the local district attorney for school officials and police officers to follow for reporting, investigation, and handling in the incidents that come to a school's attention. They should ensure that all investigations are quietly conducted by an officer who has expertise in sex abuse concerns. They should also ensure all staff have a full understanding of what they should and should not do. And the schools need to reinforce the need for a balanced tiered response to those situations using education and mild rehabilitation-based criminal consequences to stop harmful behavior and reserving significant criminal consequences for those rare cases where appropriate. Given the combined factors that for an adult to view nude images of a minor is a crime, the statutory protections to ensure the privacy of electronic communications and the categorically extreme intrusiveness of the search that could result in viewing a nude image, it is probable that, and this is very important, the only actions an administrator should take are to confiscate suspended cell phones, contact the parents, and contact the police. Also, make sure that the protocol is in accord with the state and federal search and seizure standards and store electronic communication laws. It is important that discipline be fair and balanced. There were some cases that were pretty bad. A district in Virginia has been sued because it allegedly imposed an excessive suspension on a boy student who sent an image that was being widely disseminated by the boys in school to a girl student. This student allegedly received the harsher punishment than the student who brought a handgun to school. Also, a district in Washington is being sued because it allegedly banned a cheerleader from a squad for sending an image, but did not ban the football players who were distributing her image without her consent. Schools should strive for confidentiality in any investigation. Make it clear that students who engage in harassment will be disciplined. Provide emotional support for the student depicted and ensure responsiveness. Assess whether there is ever a need for someone in the school environment, administrator, or school resource officer to view full images. Likely, this is not necessary. Schools should also ground prevention education in teens' strong desire to retain their own personal power. They should make sure they realize that the minute a nude image leaves their device, they have given someone the power to destroy their reputation. They should also address the negative influence of entertainment, advertising, and merchandising that is clearly fueling this behavior. Schools should also address how abusive partners are now using technologies for control and abuse. And schools should specifically educate students who could be prosecuted as adults about the dangers. They should avoid adult lecturing, set up situations where students are talking with their peers. Thank you very much. The end.